It's always been very important for me to have the proper lighting. And having been a studio photographer for so many years, it was critical when I decided to go on location to have the right lighting solution. Working with the cage, I'm able to take pictures at any point in time during the day, anywhere in the world. The cage is easily transportable, easily set up, and basically focuses on using light to my best advantage. So Richie, I think what we'll do is we'll set the cage up here. We'll just use the key light coming from her left side, camera right. We'll put the silk here, black on this side. Let's keep the top open. We'll use the silk on the top for a little bit of hair light. And then we'll just use a little bounce fill from one of the Sunbounce reflectors out here to give her a little kick in the front. Okay? All right. And generally hair and makeup takes, on the average, about an hour for makeup and about an hour for hair. Jason did a test with her about 10 days ago, so he had a pretty good feeling for her face and for what she needed, and so today it's going a little bit quicker. I think we'll just set it up like right here, Jerry, and bring it back, yeah. The cage can be set up very easily. All you really need is 2 people and about 20 minutes of time. It's very intuitive, it's simple to set up. And once it's set up and you've taken the time to use this, you'll see that your pictures will improve dramatically. In the earlier iterations of the cage, it took a lot more preparation, and I was a little nervous about that today to see what the length of time was going to be, but today it seems, first of all, and I was teasing Peter about this, I said I hope I can figure out how to get this cage together, not being adept at doing these things, and I think that this version of the cage is so much more intuitive than the previous version. You see where things go, and it all kind of falls together. I think you just need to know to keep the corners loose and get the corners attached first, but putting the frame together is very intuitive, and knowing that the label with the tag in the front, that's the front of your box, you're pretty well set, that's the opening. So I think it seems great, and you know, now with these tiebacks for the sandbags, so when we have wind and all, it really is very helpful. I think, Richie, the sun's starting to get a little high over here. So what were you thinking we should do?
If we put a silver outside just to add a supplemental low, I think you'll get more.
Little kick up in the eyes. I think you're right. And I think, like we were mentioning earlier, once we get the duvetine in here to darken the background here and fill in this gap, we're talking about maybe putting a white down here just for a simple little bounce fill, and then still we'll supplement that with maybe a Sunbounce Pro for fill. Because I think what we're going to do is basically the way this is set up now is this will be our key light coming in here through this silk for her. I determined that I liked lighting her better from the left side of her face, so that's how we've set the cage up today. It could really be set up in any configuration depending on where you want the main light source. What we'll do is to fill in the shadows here, I think we'll just have one of our other assistants standing back here with like a silver Sunbounce Pro, and what we'll do basically is just feather that light in like you and I do. I know sometimes people take the reflectors and they think the concept is just to hit them hard with the reflectors, and they don't realize it's really more about just feathering the light in. It's not about a big blast, it's about slowly feathering that light in just to subtly fill and open up these shadows. Let's drop this in over here to get a little kick up. It'll put a little bit more punch in the eyes. And later, after we try some pictures here, I'd like to zip this back out and put that netting in and actually use the city as a landscape behind her. And I think that that little netting, which will take like about a half a stop off, it's like a scrim to knock the light down because our exposure's down here anyway since we've modified the light, will be great, and it'll hold the exposure in the background more closely. You have a new grip head? Oh, you do?
Yeah, that's
new grip head on here.
Yeah.
This is nice, Peter. I haven't seen this.
It's a slight bit loose. It's not super tight,
yeah,
so that you can actually will adjust to the wind.
Last summer, traveling across America, for that We the People, I used a sun swatter and reflectors to shoot the entire gig for a month on the road. It's practically all I used. I used those in the Porty. That's all I used for the entire trip. People travel with so much equipment, and they don't need so much equipment. People think you need so much stuff, and you just need a few simple elements to basically create a good image. It doesn't take, you know, an entire studio of gear to make a photograph. But this is probably the most valuable single piece of equipment I have, is this sun swatter.
I got this one.
Ready to shoot.
I think when we were looking for a model for shooting today for the California Sunbounce cage, we wanted to basically find a girl that had a real natural look, a natural beauty, not like a big glamorous model, but a girl that had a real genuine quality, a real sincere quality, and that's why we picked Dominique. And I wanted somebody very natural, and I loved her red hair. I wanted Jason just to bring out her features and keep her pretty natural, but we wanted enough definition in the eyes and the face so that when the light hits